College football prime time presented by Ram Trucks. No, it is not Mardi Gras tonight at South Alabama, but we have a festive atmosphere from Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile as week 3 of the Sun Belt Conference kicks off. Arkansas State in town after an OT win over Texas State. Meanwhile, the South Alabama Jags trying to snap a 5-game skid. As league play has begun in earnest, the West Division wide open after Arkansas State defeated Texas State 2 weeks ago in overtime. South Alabama looking for their first league win of the season here tonight. Hi again, everybody. Welcome inside the booth. Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State captain, Dustin Fox with you. Foxy, as you know, there's an old adage in football, you are what your record says you are. That may be true, but it just doesn't feel that way for these two teams who have played very tight games all year.
Well, we've seen both these teams, and they have offenses that are explosive. And you just said it there in the open. You know, the conference play is now underway. We're in the middle of October. Both of these teams have an opportunity to compete for a Sun Belt championship.
No doubt. And Arkansas State did it in comeback fashion last week against Texas State. These two teams had 6 scoring drives in the fourth quarter. Gilchrist, the Texas State quarterback, with a minute left, goes 60 yards to set up the go-ahead touchdown. It looked like all was lost for Arkansas State, but not so fast. Missed PAT. Yes, it did come back to hurt them because Arkansas State went down the field in 6 plays, less than 60 seconds, and won the game on a walk-off PAT, 31-30. They were led by Jalen Rayner. Who is Jalen Rayner, you might ask? Well, he's in his 3rd year as the starting quarterback for the Red Wolves. In 2023, he went from 3rd string to Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year. Last year, a little bit of a dip statistically, though he did lead Arkansas State to their first bowl win since 2019. This year, numbers are back up. He's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country. And Dustin Fox, certainly in this conference, he is among the best.
Oh, there's no doubt. And you look back at what he did a week ago, Matt. 16 for 16 in that fourth quarter. The guy was unbelievable. He's one of 10 FBS quarterbacks to make 25 or more starts at the same program over the last 3 years. That is rare in college football, especially nowadays. Most players are there for like a season or like 2 seasons. This guy has been here for multiple years and has decided to come back with Coach Jones.
Meanwhile, on the other side, 1-5 South Alabama team, though their record is deceiving. They have 2 of the most talented guys in the backfield in this league. Bishop Davenport, first-year quarterback. Kentrell Bullock, second-year running back, and they do a lot of damage on the ground.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they are kind of like a 2-headed monster in the backfield, one of which happens to be a quarterback, but he's a darn good runner, Matt. And when he's got the football in his hands, he is very, very dangerous. He's elusive. He's somebody that Arkansas State has been talking about all week. They've got to find a way to slow him down. And Kentrell Bullock, you know, they kind of say this is like a mini version of the SEC. Well, this is a real, true SEC tailback playing in the Sun Belt.
Began his career at Ole Miss. 2 coaches in Major Applewhite and Butch Jones that spent some time together on the same team while at Alabama. Tonight, they square off in the Sun Belt, each hungry for a W. Major Applewhite in his 2nd season as the head coach led this team to a winning record last year and a bowl win. Told us coming into this game, we are starving for a victory. Multiple single score losses during this 5-game skid. And on the other side, Butch Jones told us we're coming off a monumental win against Texas State. Finally played collective football in all 3 phases. Certainly some things to clean up, but feels like his team with 70 new players really gelled in the overtime win against the Bobcats. And we are underway from Mobile. South Alabama won the toss and elected to defer, which means we will see the superstar quarterback Jalen Raynor, who is coming off Sun Belt Conference Offensive Player of the Week honors.
Yeah, he was dynamic, Matt, a week ago against Texas State. We talked about it there with that rundown in the open, and boy, they really just kind of need him to settle in and finish drives. That's what both these teams, as we'll talk about throughout the broadcast, red zone efficiency on offense, it's got to be better.
Certainly it was for Arkansas State. They went 5 for 5 against Texas State in the red zone with 4 touchdowns. First down, Raynor completes the pass to Chauncey Cobb, who's having a breakout season. One of the top wide receivers in the conference through 6 weeks.
He had a monster second half last week against Texas State.
Right back to Cobb. And he is brought down after no gain. And that will bring up 3rd and short after the tackle by Darius McKenzie.
Well, this is where you see the tempo, and then they slow it down here before this big 3rd and 3. Try to get the right call.
Kenyon Clay in the backfield. 4-man rush. Clean pocket and a dart delivered over the middle to Chauncey Cobb, who has 3 receptions on this opening drive.
Well, when we were talking with the offensive staff this week, Matt, they were saying they've got to find a way to get the ball in Cobb's hands.
Well, with that completion that went for 15 yards to Chauncey Cobb, Jalen Raynor now has 23 consecutive completions, which is the most in the FBS so far this year.
Man, just surpasses Joey Aguilar of Tennessee, who had 22. Pretty impressive stuff here for Jalen Raynor.
Well, certainly this is an offense, Dustin, that has been electric at times, but slow starts have plagued them. They are minus 41 in the scoring margin in the first quarter this year. It's something Butch Jones wanted to see them do better tonight on the road.
Yeah, outscored 31-72 in the first 6 games thus far this season. Huge third down here, Matt, as they're at midfield. I think you cut this in half, you have a chance to think about whether or not you would go for it on 4th down.
Raynor takes a shot, had a man downfield. Was it caught? No. Hunter Summers had it in his mitts, but they say incomplete. Javen Henderson in coverage. Right
oh, yeah.
end.
He had it until the very, very end, Matt. I mean, this was a tremendous effort. He goes behind the back of Javon Henderson, number 2. That was almost a SportsCenter top 10 type of play.
Jackson Waller on to punt it away for Arkansas State. And the dangerous return man, Devin Voisin, around a crowd. Fair catches it just outside rather, his own 10-yard line. So Bishop Davenport will lead South Alabama onto the field. Yes, they are coming off of an OT loss to Troy, but Major Applewhite told us he was so proud of how his first-year starting quarterback protected the football in a heated rivalry game. No turnovers, gave them a chance to win late.
He's just getting a little bit more comfortable in this offense. Won the job out of fall camp. Kind of was in a battle with Jared Hollins. We all know with Gio transferred in the offseason, and now the job is his, and he's done a nice job to this point. Would like to take care of the ball and open up the offense a little bit more for Davenport.
Swing pass goes to Kentrell Bullock, and he is popped.
Wow. That's a big-time hit there in the back end by Kyle Taylor, Matt.
Led Arkansas State in tackles 2 weeks ago against Texas State. Bullock will keep. No, check that. It is Bishop Davenport, driven back by Taylor again. Did get enough on forward progress to move the chains. Play action. Bullock caught it, though he wasn't ready for it, and turned that into a positive gain.
How about that reaction time by Kentrell Bullock? Didn't even see the football coming, and all of a sudden, just it's there. Great reflexes to pick up 4.
Second and 7. Goes to P.J. Martin, redshirt sophomore from New Orleans, who has gotten significant snaps this year for the first time in his career. It's really been a 3-headed running back rotation, with Fluff Bothwell moving on to Mississippi State in the offseason.
All right, so 3rd and 4, you've got everything at your disposal here, especially when you've got Davenport who can keep it himself.
Four-man rush. Davenport under duress, and he goes down. DeMarcus Hendricks with the sack, and a punt situation upcoming for South Alabama.
Matt, Aaron Alexander, 25, blitzes on this play right here. Going to come right inside, and then you're going to see a really good blitz pickup by the young man P.J. Martin, 22, right here. Pow! And then he just continues to rush. But as Davenport goes outside, he finds his way right into the hands of DeMarcus Hendricks. Great job defensively by Arkansas State.
Alexi Polkinen's punt will take a few positive hops. And it will be Arkansas State football when we come back. There is a flag down.
Yeah. He went out of bounds on his own and came back in and can't be the first to touch the ball. That's illegal touching by Arkansas State. Kind of I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, just kind of like lost his mind for a moment and goes out of bounds. Didn't really know where he was at on the field. Comes back in, and the official's right there. He dropped his hat to signal that he went out of bounds. As you can see, he's hatless.
Our referee tonight, Tim Barker.
During the kick, illegal player out of bounds, number 20 receiving team went out of bounds and returned during the kick play. 5-yard penalty from the end of the kick, first down.
So both teams punt on their opening drives of the game. We will see Jalen Rayner when we return. that was on the field when we went to our last break was picked up because Blockus, the punt returner, reestablished himself before touching the football when he came back in bounds. They will start at the 35. Butch Jones, meanwhile, all he's done everywhere he's gone is win. That's all he's done here at Arkansas State, despite the record this year. One of 3 FBS coaches to improve his win total each of the last 3 seasons. 1st and 10 for Jalen Rayner. A long throw is complete to his favorite target, Corey Rucker. And by the time he graduates at the end of this season, he might own every Sun Belt receiving record in the book.
Yeah, one of the program's all-time greats, Matt. I mean, he literally owns almost every record. He's top 10 certainly in everything here at Arkansas State. A really tremendous player. He's going to have his hands full tonight, though. Nehemiah Chandler, their top corner on South Alabama, will be shadowing him all night.
There's Devin Spencer slashing it up the middle and then playing some bully ball into plus territory.
It's a pretty good run there, Matt, by Spencer. 5'10", 185. He looked like he was about 5'10", 225 on that run. You said it, bowling ball. I mean, that's a good description.
Gain of 17. More carries through 6 games this year for Spencer than he had all of last season. Back to him on 1st and 10. And a nice gain on 1st down. You know, this is an Arkansas State team, Dustin, that's dealt with so many injuries. That's sort of the backstory behind the 2-4 start. Certainly at running back, that's the case. They lost preseason all-conference running back Jaquez Cross.
Yeah, week one. Yeah, man, that was what, an ACL tear week 1, and all of a sudden, then Spencer and Kenyon Clay, those guys have to start to step up a little bit more in their roles as they increase. They've gotten better, and I think I played running back a little bit in high school, and when you get more opportunities, Matt, you start to be more comfortable.
Rayner takes a shot and overshot his tight end Jabari Bush. First-year starting tight end because Tyler Little, the returning starter at that position, has been out for the last 5 weeks.
Bush has got really good size. Kind of looks like a bigger, like more physical, like a wide receiver type. 6'4", 228.
Another 3rd down and 7 here in plus territory.
I'll tell you what, I like the music here at Hancock Whitney Stadium. They got some jams tonight.
Tuesday night in the Fun Belt, baby.
Love it.
Play clock under 5. 2 in motion. Cobb across the formation, and Rayner's got to burn a timeout.
First charge. Timeout. Arkansas State.
Well, on the 2 opening drives now for Butch Jones, they have moved the football, but 3rd and longs have plagued them. Where do they go when we return on this next 3rd and long?
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff, and in part by Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Well, Jalen Raynor's had some fun on this field here in Mobile. Did it last year in the 68 Ventures Bowl with a win over Bowling Green, 38-31. He had 3 total touchdowns and over 220 passing yards. Now the question on this 3rd and 7, does Butch Jones go to the air or Dustin Fox?
Well, whatever he does, you know, we were kind of chatting during the break there. This could be 4-down territory. They're right about the 37-yard line here. Pick up a few yards, give you a chance.
Clean pocket. Raynor clutched and threw it low to Chauncey Cobb.
Yeah, I would certainly. I'd hesitate here for a moment and think, well, okay, what do we have to gain? I mean, if you punt the football and it doesn't get pinned inside the 10, then all of a sudden, what's the net? 17 yards if it goes into the end zone. I like this decision here, Matt, to keep the offense on the field. You got your experienced veteran quarterback, Jalen Raynor, who, by the way, on that last 3rd down throw, that was a dynamite throw on the money, just has to be caught by Cobb.
First 4th down attempt of the game for either team. 4-man rush. Raynor over the middle. It is caught for a 1st down. And it is Jordan Smart with the catch. But there is a flag down in midfield.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, just like that, a very promising drive is going to be halted by the holding penalty. Left tackle right here, 65. That's going to be your call. As you can see the hold here as Raynor's looking down the field trying to find Smart. Noah Smith, 65. That's going to be the call.
This is an offensive line that has had to shuffle around quite a bit due to injuries so far this season. They've started 7 different guys. And now that puts them in a punt situation. Jackson Waller will boot it away for the 2nd time tonight with Devin Voisin back deep to return. And a flag comes out. Voisin will fair catch it at about his own 14. We'll see what the flag is in a moment.
During the kick, holding, number 24, kicking team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, 1st down.
And Butch Jones is not happy on the sideline currently with 2 back-to-back holding calls. Costly.
No doubt. Well, our Saturday SEC on ABC football schedule starts at noon Eastern time. Ole Miss in Georgia, then Tennessee and Alabama. 2 programs that Butch Jones has experience with. Every game available on the all-new ESPN app as well as on ABC. All right, Butch Jones furious with Tim Barker. Did not really argue the holding call on his offense, which negated a 1st down on a 4th and 7 conversion, but he is hot after that punt, Dustin Fox.
Well, I don't know exactly what he said to the official, but his face got about as red as the red on their pants for the Red Wolves. And, wow, yeah, he was fired up.
Bishop Davenport gives it to Kentrell Bullock. Gain of 4 on 1st down.
Oh, the call was on 24, right here in the middle. I mean, really, he got grabbed by the defender. I mean, that was kind of, I don't know, ticky-tack call.
Looked like hand fighting between 2 guys.
Yeah, both players are grabbing the jersey, and I mean, it's punt team. You ever played on punt team? I mean, it is a scrap out there.
Bullock again, burrowing ahead, will make it 3rd and about 6. It's interesting. We chatted with Major Applewhite coming into the week. His team ran the ball 56 times in the loss to Troy, passed it just 15. He told us, expect us to be more aggressive, push the ball down the field. We've really yet to see that so far. This is just the second drive of the game, of course, for the Jags.
Well, especially with Bishop Davenport's arm strength. I mean, he has the ability, Matt, at times to take those deep shots and really put the ball on the money. It's just a matter of making the play calls.
Under 10 on the play clock. Pass for Davenport. Underneath, hits Devin Voisin for a first down. And more out across midfield. And flags come flying from every which direction at the end of that play as Voisin's helmet popped off on this catch and run of 24.
Now Voisin.
Personal foul, face mask, grasping the helmet opening, defense number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The ball carrier can remain in the game because his helmet was removed from the foul.
A.J. McGee's the one that gets called with the flag for grabbing the face mask, but it was Brandon Greil who was in man coverage against Voisin. That's a difficult task. And Voisin, one of the better route runners, not just in the Sun Belt, but in the entire country. He's a tremendous route runner.
Bullock with a little shake and then gets upfield. Oof. Took a shot at the end of that run, but picked up 9. And it was Brandon Barnes who laid the boom. Boy, 35 yards worth of penalties over the last minute and a half for Butch Jones' Arkansas State Red Wolves.
He's going to be fired up on the sidelines, and I think a couple of those were, the proper call, but the one I think he's got to beef with the punt is the one I think was kind of a close call. Put it that way. Now, Matt, here as we get inside the red zone, this is something we want to talk about tonight as we go throughout the broadcast. Both offenses have really struggled in terms of scoring touchdowns in the red area. They have no problem getting inside the red area, but it's a matter of finding the end zone. I kind of think this game comes down to who can capitalize with more touchdowns when they get down here, because they're both going to have opportunities.
There's P.J. Martin up the middle. Well, first-year offensive coordinator Paul Petrino really shared the same sentiments as Major Applewhite as head coach, which is that they felt like they needed to be more aggressive earlier in the game, set the tone, and really have that more dominant position going into halftime, which they've really yet to have so far this year.
Well, it'd be nice for them to get a nice first-quarter lead if they can capitalize here. Second down at the 15-yard line.
Martin again stumbling ahead for a positive gain, makes it 3rd and short. And here is the tempo of this Jags offense, top 30 in the nation in pace. Martin with a seam, flag is down as he was stopped at about the 2-yard line. We will hear yet again from Tim Barker.
Holding. Offense, number 57, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down. Correction, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that's the
Amari
left tackle,
Wiggins, yeah.
Amari Wiggins. Certainly penalties were a big aspect of South Alabama's loss to Troy. They had a lot of good drives going in the second half of that game, stalled by penalties.
Goes from 1st and goal to 3rd and almost 11. Now outside the red zone. Kind of a sloppy last, 6 minutes of game time by both teams.
Design run for Bishop Davenport, following blockers up the middle. Did he get enough for the first down? Depending on the spot, very close, and they're going to give him enough to move the chains.
It's a heck of a job by Bishop Davenport. Design quarterback run. The hesitation allows him the time to just get his blockers in position and then just reads off of them. And that's just athleticism and foot speed by Davenport.
Bullock, left side, into the end zone for a touchdown. 9-yard scamper for his 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
What a block by Breck Long, 81 on the left side. One of the backup tight ends who comes in that heavy package, excuse me. And Bullock just cuts right off of him inside, untouched to the end zone. So what has been kind of a penalty plagued first quarter, South Alabama takes advantage. Go right down the field, Kendra Bullock to the house. 7-zip Jags from Mobile.
By some mental errors over the last 5 minutes of this game for Arkansas State. 4th and 7, they thought they had a conversion instead of holding penalty on Noah Smith. Then on the punt, they thought they had South Alabama pinned deep instead of holding penalty plus 10. And then in the middle of that last touchdown drive for South Alabama, face mask plus 15 yards. And it results in a touchdown drive for the Jags. Chauncey Cobb is wrapped up inside his own 20.
What a tackle right there on special teams coverage as the Red Wolves, Matt, continue their first quarter struggles. Minus 48 is the margin this year. That is just not going to get it done.
It's part of what makes some of those mental errors so frustrating for Butch Jones. They had the 4th and 7 converted on a great pass to Jordan Smart.
Yeah, they were going to be approaching the red zone, and just think about that swing. 14-point swing, potentially.
Down 7-zip. And what a pop on the outside by Christopher Wallace Jr., the leading tackler for this defense. Check that, it's Mike Harris with the pop. First-year starter, primarily rotating in on special teams over the last handful of years after beginning his career at Baylor.
Man, I don't know if we have like extra special parabolic mics tonight, but the hits down there seem like they are really crunching shoulder pads, helmets. I mean, they're getting after it down there. Both teams are fired up for this Fun Belt matchup here on a Tuesday night, Matt.
2nd and 16. Pressure off the edge. Rayner felt it, and a flag comes in after a nominal gain on the stop made by Darius McKenzie.
Off number 52. Half the distance to the goal line. 2nd down.
Well, that's on the center, Mason Myers, who missed the Texas State game with an injury. And again, it goes back to the fact, Dustin, that this offensive line has had to be mixed and matched over the course of the season due to injuries.
Well, you've had a lot of guys out. I mean, when you lose your center, I think the center, as most coaches would tell you, the second most important position on the entire offense. That is huge in terms of
Kenyon Clay with a nice gain, but still 3rd and forever for this Arkansas State team.
Yeah, what do you dial up here on 3rd and about 16? Well, the one player that you really haven't heard much from is Corey Rucker. 1 reception. I mean, that's their go-to guy on the outside, number 7. But on 3rd and 16, you're going to need something special.
4-man rush. Screen to Clay with blockers. Lowers the shoulder across the 25-yard line. Will still leave them a handful of yards short of the line to gain. And the punt unit comes out for Butch Jones.
Now, back-to-back drives now, Matt, where penalties have cost you and basically have caused the drives to come to an end. And here they got to punt the ball again. South Alabama, Matt, they're going to have great field position here, probably out near midfield. And you never know. Voisin's back deep for South Alabama. He is one of the most dangerous return men in the entire Sun Belt Conference.
Ripped one for 40+ earlier in the year. This one will be returnable. Now they're going to say his knee was down. Boy, is he frustrated by that, because he saw nothing but
The ruling
green.
on the field is that the returner's knee touched the ground when fielding the kick. It's 1st down at that spot, South Alabama.
He may
Special
have,
player.
Matt, banged his head off of the goalpost had his knee not touched the turf, because he makes one cut and he is beyond the wave of the initial wave of Red Wolves defenders. There's that knee. Yep. Good call.
Well, you know he wants that one back.
He's alive in the NFL. Not in college.
Hoping he can play on Sundays.
No, he'll have an
after
opportunity.
this year.
There's no doubt.
Well, the last drive went 9 plays, 75 yards in 4.5 minutes. That was South Alabama football at its finest. Doing it on the ground and in the air. And a whistle pre-snap.
Full start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, that's the left tackle, Jordan Davis. 3-year starter and a preseason All-Sun Belt honoree. They have been one of the fewest penalized teams in the Sun Belt so far this year. Already 2 holding calls on the last 2 drives.
That's 6 penalties combined with both teams. Been kind of a sloppy first quarter, Matt.
Here's a toss to the track star Anthony Eager, turns the corner, and a flag comes in.
Yeah, there's
What
a
else is
hold.
new?
There's a hold on the outside. An easy call. I thought.
Will likely negate a gain of 18 despite the frustration of Major Applewhite.
Jeremy Scott had a handful of jersey on the edge, number 9.
Holding. Offense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Right there. I mean, that's a pretty easy call. He's outside the jersey. There's nothing that Avante Dickerson can do to escape the grasp of Jeremy Scott.
Now a couple of penalties negating what could have been big gains for South Alabama. They're backed up way inside their own 10. 1st and 17. Davenport underneath and just behind Voisin, who dropped it. Rare miss by Devin Voisin.
The ball kind of came out of Bishop Davenport's hand kind of awkwardly. There was pressure by DeMarcus Hendricks, number 10. I thought he had a chance to maybe get a paw on the football. But nonetheless, you're right, Matt, an unusual drop by Voisin.
Just 4 pass attempts in the game so far for Bishop Davenport. They go to the ground again. Up the middle. It's a big gain for Keenan Phillips. And he gets past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long when we return.
This is the end of the first
Week
quarter.
3 of the Sun Belt in action. And South Alabama with an early lead. 7-0 after 1 quarter in Mobile. Kick off your Week 7 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with a countdown crew on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. Well, South Alabama has 4 alums on active NFL rosters, including Jalen Tolbert, a third-round draft pick back in 2022 with the Dallas Cowboys. Impressive considering this program didn't start playing football until 2009. Moved up to the FBS level in 2012. Here's a 3rd and long to start the second quarter. Dump down to Keenan Phillips. And cannot get out of the tackle of Kyle Taylor. And the punt unit will come out for South Alabama. Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State Buckeye. Dustin Fox with you. 7 combined first quarter penalties. That's part of why South Alabama was in a 3rd and long situation starting the second quarter.
Yeah, the last time they had a penalty, they were in the red zone and they come right back the ensuing play and they gain all of that penalty yardage back. This time, too tough. It was 1st and 25 and they sort of dug out of it a little bit. Not good enough, and that punt is not good enough either.
Well, shanked by Alexi Polkinen, who's usually been very good. He's averaged over 40 yards a punt this year. So good starting field position after the 22-yarder by Polkinen. Now can Arkansas State get something going? This is a team that snapped a 4-game skid with a late 4th quarter comeback win against Texas State 2 weeks ago, coming off a bye week. Yes, they've dealt with injuries. Yes, they've dealt with 70 new players. But all that aside, Butch Jones feels like the talent is here on this team to compete in the Sun Belt Conference.
Well, and there's one team in this game that has a Sun Belt victory already, and it's Arkansas State. So you think about it, if they could win tonight, they'd be 2-1 in conference play, which puts them right in the thick of things in the race in the West, Matt.
Blaine Myrick, the preseason Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year with the tackle.
He's rocking number 5 tonight instead of his traditional 32.
In honor of Anthony Mostella. Here's a shot from Rayner and some miscommunication with Hunter Summers, who appeared to break off the route. Rayner thought he was going down the seam.
Yeah, he's looking off to the outside, and boy, I don't know. I'm just on a different page on the outside with Summers. I actually thought he had a chance at his tight end, Fortenberry, down the seam.
So another 3rd and long in this game for Arkansas State's offense. Rayner resettles, took the shot, delivered a bullet over the middle to Corey Rucker, and a flag is down in the backfield.
This was late too. This was after the ball was released by Rayner.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with forcible contact to the head. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Yeah, you'll see. I mean, good protection. I like the mobility and how he sort of moves the pocket, Rayner, and you can see 25. Henry is the one who, I don't think it was intentional, the helmet-to-helmet contact with Rayner, but nonetheless, it gets the call and keeps the drive moving. They catch a break with the penalty for once, Arkansas State.
8th penalty of the night. Now Rayner, shot play to the end zone, and another flag comes out. He was looking for Rucker again. And Demarion Darby in coverage at corner.
Pass interference, defense, number 24, automatic 1st down.
Well, this is a total reversal of what we saw in the first quarter. 35 yards worth of penalties go South Alabama's way. Now we're seeing it go Arkansas State way here in the second.
Catching a couple of breaks, it keeps the drive moving. Now inside the red zone here for the Red Wolves, in an area where we all know, we talked about this, they struggle. Just 13 touchdowns thus far this season, 23 attempts.
Here's Rayner shedding one tackler, now another, and just buries himself. Loss of 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Caleb Dozier, the Georgia Tech transfer, was there. Already 4th tackle for a loss today by the Jags defense.
That's a tough spot. You know, Rayner's just trying to make a play, and at the end of the day there, he just decides to go down and ends up losing about 3 yards. So 2nd and goal from about the 13-yard line. Call it the 14. This is that matchup up top with Rayner and Rucker, excuse me.
Direct snap goes to Kenyon Clay, pushing the pile. Is this go for it territory if you're Butch Jones?
I think you got to have points, but it's certainly a question. See what happens here on 3rd and goal. Can they get this inside the 5? Boy, it would be really tough if you did not come away with points on a drive, especially that the drive has been continued by penalties. So they've kind of caught some breaks to even be in this position.
South Alabama's defense has allowed a score on every drive into the red zone by their opposition so far this season. 3rd and goal. Pressure. Rayner to the end zone, just over his man, Jabari Bush.
Oh, man, Bush was open, and this ball was just a little bit off for some reason. I mean, he's right there. I mean, the ball's just got to be on him. You put that on him, that's 6 points. Mike Harris was in coverage, number 8. I agree. You probably got to kick this one.
Clune Van Andel has been almost automatic this year. This from 25 yards, the preseason Sun Belt Specialist of the Year. And he slips it through the uprights. Arkansas State has a drive stall in the red zone, but they do get 3. It's a 4-point game in Mobile. First Saturday SEC on ABC college football schedule starts at noon Eastern. Number 5 Ole Miss and Georgia at 3:30. Then Tennessee and Alabama at 7:30, both on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. Welcome back to Mobile. Arkansas State on the board with 3 points. Gloon Van Andel banging in a field goal from 25 yards. Both teams have, at times tonight, driven the ball well on offense, but the penalties have really been an issue. 8 combined between the two teams so far in the first half. And a fair catch by Micah Woods. Big game between Ole Miss and Georgia. Here's what Lane Kiffin had to say about his former colleague at Alabama.
Probably some of the more demonstrative coaches on the field. Who do you think burns more calories in a game you're in?
I don't know. That's a good question. I walked by the TV and saw his press conference today, so it looked like he's burned too many calories. And I've given him heat before about the weight loss part. He says he's too stressed to work out.
Two
Couple
old
of buddies,
friends.
right? Going way back.
Yeah, former coordinators at Alabama. Kirby, of course, coached the defense. Lane coached the offense. They won a national championship together with Nick Saban in 2015. Kentrell Bullock stacked up. Maybe lost half a yard on that first down. But, boy, what a big game in the SEC. Georgia already a one-loss team. Ole Miss got a scare by Washington State last week.
I feel like Nick Saban has had like nearly every head coach on his staff at some point as some sort of an assistant. Both of these coaches have had stops along the way in Tuscaloosa. And guess what, Matt? Another flag.
False start. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's a second penalty on Wiggins. He had a hold earlier and now a false start. Both teams struggling mightily on offense with the penalties.
No, you're right. Major Applewhite and Butch Jones were both on staff at Alabama together after Jones was the head coach at Tennessee.
Was that like 2018, 2019?
Here's a swing pass to Bullock. All kinds of trouble there. He was swarmed by a flurry of white jerseys led by Brandon Greil. And now 3rd and very long for South Alabama. Doesn't it just feel like, Dustin, more often than not, these two offenses have been playing from behind the sticks all night so far in Mobile?
And it doesn't feel like it has been the case, and it's because of penalties, holding penalties. In this case, a false start penalty has backed him up.
Pressure, sets up a screen. It's Bullock lowering the shoulder. Brandon Greil again with the stop. Brings up 4th and 12 and another punt situation for the Jags.
It's been 20 years since I think I've tackled anybody. Well, maybe a little less than that. But either way, that's still that hit right there. I felt it in my bones. I mean, these guys are popping pads out here.
It's the Fun Belt, baby,
It
on a
is.
Tuesday night. Alexi Pulkkinen's last punt went for just 22 yards. This one much better. Tight spiral. Sending Aaron Blancas deep. Will return it and is wrapped up after no gain. 7-3. Under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter on a beautiful night for some Tuesday football in Mobile. Welcome back to College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. 7-3 lead for South Alabama, week 3 of the Sun Belt. Busy week last week in the top 10 of college football. Oregon losing a thriller to Indiana. Hoosiers are for real. Oklahoma losing to an unranked Texas team. And Alabama going to Columbia to beat Missouri. Are they on the hottest 3-game stretch of any team in the country so far? Feels that way. Ohio State Buckeyes. Yes, we know, Dustin Fox.
Just want to point that out. Having a strong year.
National champ.
Collision course with the Hurricanes.
I thought you were going to say collision course with Indiana in
Well,
Indianapolis.
it would be, back in 2002 when we played the Hurricanes. That was a collision course. Ended up on the right end of that.
Good game there by Kenyon Clay. For an offense that has been behind schedule so often in this first half, it's Clay again moving the sticks. And I don't know about you, Dustin, but I feel like that, more than anything else, has been why we haven't seen Jalen Raynor do what we're accustomed to seeing him do.
Well, I like the ground attack that they've established here, Matt.
3 straight plays to Clay.
I don't think that Raynor has had a bad start to the game. It's just been kind of clunky for a variety of reasons. Number 1, penalties. And number 2, trying to get the ground game going to open up some of the passing lanes in the back end. That is where I think that they can have some success. And Rucker, they got to find a way to get the ball in Rucker's hands a little bit more here as we get into this second quarter.
Just the 2 catches for 13 yards for their leading wide receiver. Raynor on a design keeper, spins ahead, brings up 3rd and short.
I wouldn't overthink this call if I'm Arkansas State. I'd be going right back to either Spencer or Clay. I wouldn't even mess around with too much RPO here. Just get downhill and try to, if you don't get the 2 yards, maybe you get a yard and a half, and you have an opportunity to just keep your offense on the field.
Pressure came, might have been a batted ball.
It was, Matt. That was Johnson, Terrell Johnson, Jr., number 20, was in there in a hurry. At least it looked like he had a hand on the ball.
Either that or it really affected the throw of Jalen Raynor.
But think about it. I mean, you're at midfield here. As you take a look at the replay, it's hard to tell if he got a paw on the ball at all.
Well, the Red Wolves are now 1 for 6 on 3rd down, and they have elected to punt on 4th and a long 2. Boyson will let this bounce inside the 10, and it takes a very, very pro-Arkansas State bounce. Long field upcoming for South Alabama after the 50-yard punt by Jackson Waller.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Back in Mobile, Butch Jones decides to punt on 4th and 2, and Jackson Waller gives him a 50-yard boot. Now South Alabama backed up inside their own 5.
Hard to criticize not going for it on 4th and 2 after you flip the field like they just did, Matt. I mean, that was a great punt that checked up like a Tiger Woods chip, and guess what, Matt?
False start.
Another flag.
Offense, number 69. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
That's on Kenton Jarrito, and that is the 7th penalty on South Alabama tonight. Not much room down there in the shadow of their own goal line.
No, there's not, partner.
To the ground. It is P.J. Martin giving them a little bit more room out past the original line of scrimmage. A.J. McGee, the former 2-year starter at Marshall, made the tackle.
Interesting that Kentrell Bullock has not really had as much action tonight as he's had in the past. A lot of P.J. Martin so far tonight. Bullock, yeah, he has the touchdown run. But, Matt, coming into the game tonight, Bullock was 15th in the country with 496 yards rushing. Only 23 to start this game for Kentrell Bullock as Martin gets another carry.
Well, they did tell us they felt like P.J. Martin was the most versatile of their 3 primary backs in rotation. Like him in the blocking game, the passing game, and in the run game. Perhaps liking the look he has given them so far. 3rd and 3.
That's Voisin in motion.
Looking that way. And that's batted down to the line of scrimmage by Cody Sigler. Their war daddy up front, who transferred in from West Alabama down the road in Pensacola.
Well, they are glad that he is back healthy. Missed a couple games back in mid-September, but 94 right here on the inside. You're going to see him bat this football down, does a great job, gets the pass rush, and then he's all of a sudden stopped, puts the arm up in the air, gets a paw on the football, and he's lucky that he did because, Matt, Devin Voisin was open. It was zone coverage, and Voisin had broke to the outside, and he would have been open for a first down.
Good punt here. Blankus drifting back inside his own 35. Has a little bit of a seam. Broke a couple of tackles to get it out near the 45 after a 53-yard punt by Alexi Polkinen.
So just like that, Butch Jones is proven correct. Gets the football almost exactly where they had the ball previously when they punted on 4th and 2. Out near midfield. And listen, we got to see Rayner get a little bit more comfortable here and settle in and find some rhythm in the passing attack for Arkansas State.
He was the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week after that come-from-behind win against Texas State. Had 4 total touchdowns, no turnovers, and led an epic drive with 60 seconds left in the game for the game-winning score. Pressure up the middle, picked up well, finds Rucker for his 3rd catch of the night. And guess who was draped all over him?
I'm going to guess Nehemiah Chandler.
Interesting matchup so far. One might say Chandler's winning it a bit so far in this first half.
Chandler's a heck of a player on the outside. Where's number 6? Right there. Good player, transfer from Georgia Tech.
Now they sent Rucker in motion.
You can tell it's not man coverage, Matt.
Fake it to him. Rayner dancing out of trouble, still on his feet and now dragged down from behind. All that to get basically back to where he started.
I think he lost 6 inches. I mean, they moved the stick. Literally, he picked it up and he puts it down like an inch or 2 behind where it was before. So no worse for the wear as they come back here on a big 3rd and 4. The question is, will they punt again if they don't get this 3rd down? Or will they decide, okay, we're almost across midfield. Maybe we'll want to be a little bit more aggressive here with our offense.
It's Clay. Stuffed initially, then churned ahead for 2. Boy, this is 4th and a long 1.5. I think you gotta go for it here, but wow, Butch Jones bringing his punt unit back onto the field.
Well, if you can guarantee you can pin him inside the 10-yard line again, I'd say, great idea. Bring him out. I mean, the punter's been awesome today, but I don't know. It's 4th and a yard and a half, not a full 2.
Jackson Waller's last punt went for 50 yards down inside the 5. Boyson will let this drift behind him. Takes another good bounce and then a touchback. Much better starting field position for South Alabama than their last drive. It has been sloppy, to say the least. 9 combined punts, 11 penalties, more than 10 combined first downs. And again tonight, Butch Jones's team was held scoreless in the first quarter. They're now minus 48 on the year in first quarters, and yet they're only down 4 points.
Yeah, maybe the folks in the desert had this one read a little bit off because they expected a little bit more scoring by both of these offenses, these electric quarterbacks who are both dual threats.
For the record, so did we.
Yeah, true.
There's Keenan Phillips. Part of that 3 running back rotation for South Alabama. Lost Fluff Bothwell, their leading rusher last year, to the portal. He's now at Mississippi State. Bishop Davenport, first-year starter at quarterback after they lost Gio Lopez to the portal to North Carolina. Such is life now at the Group of 5 level. Fake it, and a nice pass by Bishop Davenport, finding Jeremy Scott very close to the line of game, maybe a yard short on this 3rd down.
Got a pretty favorable spot too on the outside. I thought he was going to be about 2 yards short. Official comes in, marks it 3rd and 1. You got Keenan Phillips in the backfield, Matt.
And they give it to him, and he plunges ahead for a first down.
This kind of feels like that Army game we called a couple weeks ago where it was like the fastest first half ever. I thought we'd have all kinds of points and fireworks and these offenses would be going up and down the field. Instead, we've got a 7-3 ball game with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Bishop Davenport again on the play action, looking slick with the arm. Finds Jeremy Scott for his 2nd catch on this drive. Well, on their only touchdown drive of the game, they had 9 plays to go 75 yards. They ran it 8 times. Already seeing Davenport open it up a little bit more on this drive, and now a penalty pre-snap.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That'll be on Kenton Girardeau, who has now 2 penalties, Matt.
They continue to mount for both teams. Davenport making a check at the line of scrimmage here. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Pressure off the edge. They run away from the blitz, and a flag comes in.
Sensing a theme.
You and me both.
Holding. Offense, number 72.
My goodness.
10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
There's just no flow to this game because there's been a flag after. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. How many total do we have? 13? 13 flags.
Well, fittingly,
This
that
is
penalty
the 2-minute timeout.
will take us to the 2-minute timeout. At least we've got gorgeous views here in Mobile. We'll be right back. Yeah, thank you very much, Zubin. It's really shocking to see how many coaches have been let go already 6 weeks into the season.
Second charge timeout, Arkansas State, 30 seconds.
And you and I were talking about it, Dustin. Even more shocking to see what has transpired in Happy Valley. 15 days ago, they were in a one-possession overtime game with Oregon.
Well, just think about College game day was in Happy Valley. It's the whiteout. I mean, all the fellas on game day were wearing the white suits. There was so much excitement surrounding that game for the rest of the season. And then just in a matter of 3 weeks, it just went from 0 to 100. And what's so surprising to me is just like it just seemed like the number was astronomical to be able to come up with that to say goodbye. College football, man, it's a different animal in 2025.
There's a silver lining to that story for James Franklin. 3rd and 21 here in Mobile.
Ask Coach O.
1:55 to go in the first half after the timeout by Butch Jones. He wants the football back. Keenan Phillips doing his best to gain back all the yardage that was lost due to the penalties. And Butch Jones burns
Third and
another
final.
timeout, so they will
Charge
get the
timeout.
football
Arkansas State. 30
to end the
seconds.
first half. These are all the coaches that have been let go since week 1. Trent Dilfer added to the list yesterday at UAB.
Alex Mortensen named the interim head coach there. You and I will see them on Saturday versus Memphis. A couple other coaches. Mike Gundy let go a couple of weeks ago after, I don't know, 40 years it seems at Oklahoma State. Sam Pittman let go at Arkansas. You know, it stinks too. I mean, you know, these some good men on that list that have been let go, and certainly they'll have other opportunities, but it's always a dark day when coaches start to meet the firing squad in the middle of the season with the records that just aren't good enough.
Aaron Blancas taken down after a nominal return. All right, so we've seen Arkansas State move the ball at times. A dynamic third-year starter at quarterback in Jalen Rayner, who can throw and run. How do you see this next 140 playing out for the Red Wolves?
Well, you said it with last week's matchup against Texas State. They went 60 seconds all the way down and scored on the final drive to take the lead and win against Texas State. They don't even need the whole length of the field. They've got to go 60 to get the touchdown, but they don't even need that. I mean, if they can just find themselves inside that 35-yard line, they'll have an opportunity. One of the best kickers in the Sun Belt, and Van Andel.
Rayner with time, dumps it underneath. Nice positive gain on first down for Hunter Summers. Arkansas State does have that lone timeout remaining. 90 seconds to go in the first half. They trail by 4. Rayner, another complete pass right at the line to gain, and Jabari Bush fights for the first down. That will stop the clock momentarily. And Rucker gets out of bounds. Boy, is this where Jalen Rayner is at his best.
I think every quarterback's sort of at their best when you just say, okay, this is on you. Get to the line of scrimmage. You're allowed to make these checks. Get the guys lined up. You know the calls. And the 2-minute offense just seems to be something that quarterbacks just thrive in.
Rayner steps up in the pocket, takes a shot. A lot of hand fighting down on the far sideline and incomplete. Corey Rucker blanketed again by Nehemiah Chandler.
And there's that matchup. Chandler, number 6. It's a double move. Really good discipline with his eyes. Chandler to not bite on that. A lot of cornerbacks would break. They'd stare in the backfield, and all of a sudden Rucker would be running wide open down the sideline. Not the case there.
Big 3rd and short for the Red Wolves. Rayner on a design keeper. Lowers the shoulder. Boy, the spot looks a little bit short of the line to gain as the clock continues to churn. 50 seconds left. It is 4th and short. No timeouts left for Arkansas State. Butch Jones keeps his offense on the field. Pressure up the middle. Clay is stuffed initially, and that second effort, I believe, is enough to move the sticks. But it is awfully close to that 40-yard line.
He was stopped initially. A really good job by McKenzie, who had the initial contact. Now they're going to rule first down. The extra effort by Clay, Matt, was just enough. He outstretched that football across the 40-yard line to pick up the first down.
And I believe we're going to have a timeout pre-snap for Major Applewhite here.
You can see that initial hit.
It was Rayner behind him, giving him a little tush
Yeah,
push.
he absolutely gets up there and kind of pushes on
South
the.
Alabama used the timeout, or coach's challenge, excuse me, to challenge the ruling on the field of the runner reaching the line to gain.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these be successful.
It's so tough,
Yeah,
particularly
but
in
you
the
know
scrum.
what? But I don't mind the call. What do you have to lose?
Nothing.
I mean, you're going to take the timeouts with you to halftime, so make them take another look at it, and maybe there's something that they missed. They've got to get to the 40, and I mean, the ball is literally sitting the nose on the 40 as we speak. So I don't know how you overturn. Spots are so tough to overturn.
But to your point, what do you have to lose if
Nothing.
you're Major
No.
Applewhite?
No.
And if you so happen to win the challenge, now it's your ball
Correct.
at the 40 with 3 timeouts and nearly 30 seconds on the clock. It's just hard to tell. Where is his knee and elbow when the nose of the football goes across the 40-yard line?
Yeah, and without having a camera exactly on the 40-yard line like we'd have on the goal line, it's just almost impossible to tell.
After video review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's first down, Arkansas State. South Alabama has lost their challenge, and they are charged a team timeout. Please reset the game clock to 31 seconds. 31 seconds on the game clock, please.
So the great part about
Thank
this
you.
for Arkansas State is that it stops the clock when they have no timeouts. Ball at the 40-yard line with 31 ticks left in the first half. And they do have a weapon at kicker in Clune Van Andel, who is hit from 52. But Jalen Rayner is thinking touchdown. Had to step oddly with pressure swarming him. Ball came out funny and incomplete, intended for Rucker. Second down shot. Looking for Summers. It is incomplete. Javon Henderson in coverage broke it up. And it brings up third down.
This is a great job, really, by Hunter Summers, who go up and become the defender, essentially, because that probably should have been caught as an interception by Henderson. Instead, now, Matt, they've got to do something here. They've got to try to just get the first down and then get up and clock the football. Otherwise, you know, they're going to have to punt this thing, because South Alabama still has the 2 timeouts. You don't want to give them the ball at the 40.
Underneath, will they call a timeout, South Alabama? No. So now Arkansas State, for probably the last play of the half, going to snap this with less than 5 seconds, but a flag comes in and a false start on the Red Wolves.
Which will end the first half because of the runoff. So that's it. That's sort of a microcosm of the entire first half, Matt.
False start. Offense number 52. This foul is eligible for a 10-second runoff. South Alabama is elected to get runoff.
14 combined first half penalties, only fitting that the first half ends with a false start.
Just some really tough football that needs to be cleaned up. I hope we have a better second half, partner.
Well, certainly Butch Jones hoping his offense can get it going in the second half. 4-point game in Mobile. We send it to Zubin Mehenti and Trevor Maddich. Guys, how's your view in the studio? Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. Gorgeous night on a Tuesday night in the Sun Belt here in Mobile, Alabama. A 4-point lead for the hometown South Alabama Jags, taking on Arkansas State, week 3 of the Sun Belt. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State captain, Dustin Fox. We had 10 punts in the first half. You could say they were playing the field position game. These are two teams whose offenses we felt like were going to be dynamic tonight. How does that get going in the second half?
It's hard to have rhythm when you have so many penalties in that first half. We saw you had more punts or more penalties than punts in that first half. You had, Arkansas State was 1 for 10 on third down. There was just no flow to the game. One of the sloppier first halves that I've seen this year that we've called. And obviously the coaches are going to have those conversations at halftime and try to clean things up. But, man, it was just no flow. It was just clunky. Both teams could not get into any sort of a rhythm, and that's why the score is 7-3.
South Alabama will get the ball to start the second half. And a touchback for the Jags. Well, the second drive of the game for South Alabama went 9 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown, and after that, there wasn't a whole lot for either team. And you are circling the penalties.
Well, and how about third downs for both teams? Just not able to capitalize there, and not many sustained drives by either one of these teams, partly because every time they got to a situation where you felt like there was some momentum, the drive would be stalled by a penalty, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and long.
Play action, passes caught by Devin Voisin. Boy, that was a great effort to get 1 yard. Devin Voisin, a top 5 wide receiver in the conference. They would love to get him going, over 500 yards receiving in the season. Here's Anthony Eager, and a penalty. Likely a hold will bring this back for South Alabama.
You need like a hotkey. You just push a button, and there's a flag. Penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Sorry, I worked in talk radio for 13 years. Hotkeys are my best friend.
Tim Barker could use a few hotkeys. He has been active on the mic tonight. Major Applewhite's team typically this year has been the least penalized team on the field. Tonight that has not been the case. More penalties than first downs combined in the first half between the two teams. 2nd and 19. Now, Bishop Davenport, the first-year starting quarterback for South Alabama, was 7 for 9 in the first half, but no deep throws. That might be offside on Arkansas State. Looked like one of their defensive linemen jumped with the clap.
Offside. Defense, number 93, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Up front, you could tell he just jumped a little early. And that's one of those, you just, eyes on the football. Discipline, fundamentals, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
On 3rd and 10. Davenport underneath to Rod Gibbs, his second tight end. Pushed out of bounds by Trenton Allen Yao, and the punt unit will come out for South Alabama. both punters, Alexei Pulkkinen and Jackson Waller, were the MVPs of the first half.
Matt, doesn't it just feel like we are one play away? Like, who's going to make the play? Is it going to be a play in special teams? Is it going to be a big play on offense? Like, something's got to happen here.
Aaron Blancas making a couple of men miss and then could not get out of the vice grip. Excellent special teams coverage by South Alabama. And so we will see the 3-year starter Jalen Rayner lead this Arkansas State offense onto the field, coming off a thrilling fourth quarter comeback victory against Texas State 2 weeks ago. Helped this offense to over 400 yards total in that game. And they went 5 for 5 in the red zone with 4 touchdowns. They have the capacity, Dustin, to be an explosive, high-scoring offense. We just didn't see it in the first half. Penalties were a big reason.
Whatever they did in the fourth quarter against Texas State, they sort of need to try and manifest that into something here in the second half.
That was a remarkably wild game, wasn't it? The two teams, Texas State, Arkansas State, tied at 10 going into the fourth quarter. It ended up a 31-30 game.
I was just going to say, I mean, 10-10, and all of a sudden there's 40 points scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
didn't go to overtime.
No extra time needed. Rayner, well, it looked like his intended wide receiver, Hunter Summers, was held up a little bit by Javen Henderson, but no flag, and now 3rd and long.
I giggle because I was just going to say there's no flag on the play. That's surprising.
Butch Jones called that win against Texas State monumental for his program. Felt like it was the spark that this team needed after so many close losses during their 4-game skid. Rayner, long throw. It's Tyler Fortenberry, and that is enough to move the chains.
I haven't called Fortenberry's name at all tonight, but he is a very versatile tight end who's coming off
the
of
ball being spotted. Officials time out for an injured player of the defense.
And it looks like Wesley Miller, Dustin, their starting free safety, who's already missed time this year. Played a little bit banged up 2 weeks ago against Troy. And he is down again. We will step aside. A 7-3 ball game with 12-12 left in the third in Mobile. Welcome back to Mobile. This was during our last time out. The starting safety and preseason all-conference defender, Wesley Miller, being ushered off the field after this hit on Tyler Fortenberry. And he's a young man that has just been unable to stay healthy this year. We wish him the best.
Well, and that's been a position in the back end for South Alabama. They've had tons of injuries. Wide open.
It is Chauncey Cobb, their slot receiver, who has become a top 5 wideout in the conference, Dustin, a gain of 29 yards.
And again, maybe that's something, a big play. 2 plays back to back. The play to Fortenberry for the first down. They come right back to Cobb.
Clay is stacked up, and in there first was Dominic Weissman along with Dalton Hughes. And Cobb had 1 catch in 3 games prior to this season. Stuck around. He's roommates with Jalen Rayner. And now this year, having a breakout season, one of the top wide receivers in the Sun Belt. Another top wide out, Corey Rucker.
How about those strong hands by Rucker? That football is thrown out near the sticks. Going to be a little short of the line to gain, but all hands. Look at that. He's been getting his hands into rice buckets, Matt.
He is strong and big-bodied, 6 foot, 215 pounds, and that makes it 3rd and short. If you are just joining us, Arkansas State more often than not looked at 3rd and long in the first half. They were just 2 for 10 on 3rd downs. Only need 1 here.
Oh,
and
false start.
Whistle.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Mason Myers, the center, who's been out. That's his 2nd penalty of the night, Matt, as he gets himself back into the lineup. He's shaking his head. He knows that could prove to be a costly penalty. It was 3rd and 1, and clearly they were in a position, had they not gotten it on 3rd and 1, to go for it. And now they're in that gray area here, 3rd and 6 at the 36-yard line.
Rayner didn't see anybody open, then was crunched, had a big hole, closed quickly by Tyrell Johnson. What a revelation he has been on defensive line for South Alabama, the former Division II star who won a national championship.
All right, so this would be a 53-yard field goal attempt. There's no wind tonight, but I don't think there's even a consideration by the Red Wolves to even attempt this. They're going to keep the offense on the field. I think this is the right call. The question is, can you get the football to somebody beyond the line to gain? Here's the matchup down below.
Pressure picked up. Rayner hits Rucker very close to the line to gain, and he did get forward progress to move the chains.
Well, you need a play on 4th and long. You go to your top guy. That's Corey Rucker on the outside. It's a tough matchup. He's been dealing with Nehemiah Chandler all day. But again, he knows exactly where to go. He gets right to the sticks, catches the ball, turns upfield, and it's a 1st down.
Underneath, Tyler Fortenberry. You mentioned it, we did not call his name at all in the first half. Now 2 catches on this drive alone for the Vanderbilt transfer.
Well, and he's coming off of what the coaches said was his best game of the season by far a week ago. Just had 1 catch, but they like the way he did everything for this offense. It's not just the plays where you're getting the football. It's his ability to block. It's his ability to move. They use so much motion, especially with their tight ends. Oh, it's going to be a wildcat, Matt.
Lined up in the wildcat, fakes the pitch to Rayner, up the middle, and Spencer stopped at about the 11-yard line.
I love that call. You just kind of shift over Rayner, and then all of a sudden Spencer moves up behind the center, fakes the toss out to Rayner, and then picks up about 5 or 6 yards. Nice gain on first down. And really, Matt, this is the most productive drive by far that the Red Wolves have had all night.
11th play of the drive upcoming. Here's Spencer burrowing up the middle, and it's goal to go for Arkansas State. And now the tempo of the Red Wolves offense. Top 30 in the FBS.
It just seems like there's a little more pep in the step of the Red Wolves right now.
Shot to the end zone. Rucker was held, it looked like, by Nehemiah Chandler, but no flags.
There was some contact. I'm okay with the no call here. A little bit of hand
like
fighting.
A true DB.
Easy killer.
But you're right.
I'm an equal opportunity employer. I'll call it both ways.
You're right. This has been the best drive of the game for Arkansas State to this point. Kenyon Clay in the backfield. Rayner keeps. And he is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Blaine Myrick, Dominic Wiseman, both in on the stop.
For whatever reason tonight, the design quarterback runs by the Red Wolves have just not gone anywhere. In fact, they've gone in reverse. Multiple times that Rayner has called his own number. He's not calling his own number. It's called by the coaching staff. We know that. But they just haven't been able to get things going with him on the ground. And now, I mean, you're talking about 3rd and goal. You backed up at what appeared like you were just going to have a touchdown run maybe on that 1st or 2nd down. Here you go.
End zone shot. Boy, that was a tight window looking for Hunter Summers, and it results in an incomplete pass.
Wow, to just have to settle for 3 on this really nice drive by Arkansas State kind of feels like a win for South Alabama. And a dangerous throw. I mean, that could have easily been picked off by Chandler, who was in coverage on the outside. He comes off of his man to come back to try and provide some help, and nearly comes away with the interception. A great stop by the Jags.
14-play offensive drive results in a field goal attempt for Clune Van Andel. It was hit from 25 tonight. This from 23. Uh-oh, whistle here. Now who jumped first?
Really only makes things interesting if it's South Alabama offsides, because 5 yards doesn't affect the field goal.
Start. Offense, number 8-9. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that look on the face of Butch Jones says it all.
I mean, this is just crazy, Matt. I don't remember watching a game, let alone calling a game, where there's been this. It's just every snap, something. And they're pre-snap penalties. A lot of them.
18 total penalties in this game. 28-yarder for Van Andel. And it's blocked. South Alabama defense and special teams come up with the stop of the game to this point.
South Alabama's defense says 14 plays. Talk about bend but don't break. You can go 14 plays, that's fine. We'll stop you for a field goal attempt, and then we'll just block it. The Jaguars get out of here allowing nothing. Score remains 7-3. Jags on top for Mobile.
Butch Jones displeased with his special teams unit and offensive line after they had a field goal attempt blocked from 28 yards out. And this came on the heels of first down and goal to go from inside the 5-yard line. But the penalties and the stops by South Alabama result in a 15-play drive coming up with 0 points for the Red Wolves. Bishop Davenport with the keeper, skirts out of bounds with a gain of 2. Meanwhile, on the other side, Major Applewhite's got to be loving this from his defense, which has been suspect this year. But they have held an at times explosive Arkansas State offense quiet tonight. What a catch by Anthony Eager. And he has enough to move the chains.
And let's see if that stop by the defense gets this offense going with some energy and some positive vibes, because that last drive, the opening drive of the second half, it just kind of seemed like they were just kind of asleep behind the wheel. And they had the penalty, of course, that backed them up. And here they go again with an opportunity here to, you get off the field after a 14-play drive, and now your offense, goodness, Matt, if they got a touchdown here, it may feel like a nail in the coffin.
Feeling the pressure, Davenport in the area of Hunter Summers. Their opening drive of the second half, a 3-and-out, had to punt, backed up behind the chains, which was a theme for both teams in the first half due to the penalty situation. This is a South Alabama team that is in the midst of a 5-game skid. A deceptive 1-5 record, though. Gave one heck of a fight against Tulane, Auburn, and North Texas in the last handful of weeks on the spinning catch by Michael Woods. And they're coming off of an overtime loss to rival Troy. So they've been right there, Dustin.
I just want to make the point that's kind of fascinating to me is that both of these teams are coming off of a bye week. So they've had extra time to prepare, which is why this, again, I guess it could go both ways. Haven't played a game in 10 days. And so maybe they're just a little rusty to come back out and play a real game. It's just, again, the pre-snap stuff is one that will just eat coaches alive when they go to bed at night.
3rd and 5, passes caught on the outside by Rod Gibbs. And the number 2 tight end with his second catch of the day moves the chains yet again for South Alabama. Davenport with time, airing it out, could be trouble, and it's incomplete. Intended for Devin Voisin. Brandon Barnes, the safety, knocking it loose.
This thing was airmailed by Bishop Davenport. Probably should have been intercepted in the back end by Barnes, but because Voisin is such a great athlete, he comes over and erases the error on the throw by nearly coming up with the catch, but takes away the opportunity for the interception by Barnes.
First real deep shot down the field we've seen tonight from Bishop Davenport.
Yeah, we talked about it. He needs to take some more of those because he does have the arm. You saw the arm strength there. He threw that football well beyond where it needed to be.
Here's Kentrell Bullock. Preseason first team all Sun Belt selection, 4th in the league so far this year in rushing. It's part of the reason why South Alabama has leaned so heavily on its run game. 3 very capable running backs. But coming into the night, Paul Petrino, their offensive coordinator, Major Applewhite, their head coach, said to expect more aggressiveness in the pass game. 3rd and 6. And Davenport had to get that out quickly because the cavalry was coming. And likely another punt situation, and yes, the kicking team is out for the Jags.
Prior to the ball being spotted, Officials timeout for an injured player of the defense.
Brandon Greil is down for Arkansas State on the South Alabama sideline. While he is being tended to, we will step aside. 4th and 6 upcoming in Mobile. Welcome back to Mobile. Good news for Arkansas State. Brandon Greil up under his own power after he was slow to get up. Going to that last commercial break. 4th and 6. Punt unit is out for the 7th time for South Alabama. And Aaron Blankus, the deep man for the Red Wolves. Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State Buckeye. Dustin Fox with you. Low line drive, and Blankus will fair catch it at his own 10.
Hey, this is our first game of our ESPN Friday Night College Football doubleheader, 7 Eastern. Carson Beck and the number 2 Hurricanes host Miller Moss and 4-1 Louisville in a big ACC conference matchup down in Coral Gables. You can always watch it on the all-new ESPN app. Going to be a good one. How about those Canes?
Are they the best team that you've seen so far this season?
Well, there is some bias in this room.
I was asking you to go against your bias, but you won't do it.
Both teams, Buckeyes, Hurricanes, clearly top 2 teams in the country.
Carson Beck in the midst of a big redemption year. Here's Rayner taking a shot. Rucker hand fighting. It's intercepted by Nehemiah Chandler. And the first takeaway of the game for either team. Jags win it back.
This is just trying to take a shot, Matt, to your stud receiver down the field. Really good coverage by Chandler. Man, his eye discipline is so good. This kid is really special at the cornerback position. And then, honestly, I think that it was a really good job by Rucker at the end of this to make the tackle, because if he decides to not give effort here and give up like some people do, and we've seen it before, I think Chandler could have easily returned that inside plus territory and helped their offense instead. Kind of like a punt. Jags will take back over nearly where they just punted the football from on 4th down.
Second interception of the season for Chandler. 5th thrown by Rayner. Davenport on the play action finds Devin Voisin across midfield for a gain of 13.
Voisin a little bit hobbly there after that play, and that's something to keep an eye on, because Voisin is clearly the top target on the outside for the Jags. Take a listen to this hit.
Well, it's Brandon Greil who's down again. Remember, he was the safety who went down before our last commercial break.
Well, now it looks like they're just stretching out that leg, which again would probably be a cramp. But the previous injury he had come off the sideline with was he was kind of like favoring that shoulder, so hopefully he's okay.
Good to see him again get up under his own power, albeit a bit gimpy. Meanwhile, Devin Voisin still shaken up on the South Alabama sideline. We will keep you posted on his status. You mentioned it. He's not a guy you can afford to lose. Top 5 in the Sun Belt in receiving yards coming into the day. And their most veteran skill position player on the offense in his 7th season of college football. 1st and 10 in enemy territory for South Alabama. Davenport rolling. And a little dunk to the former Arkansas State leading tight end, Miller McCrumbie, his first catch of the game.
Yeah, I really like Miller McCrumbie from the tight end position for South Alabama. He's a guy that I feel like they need to use his versatility more in this offense. He's got size, he's got speed, good hands. We called the North Texas game earlier this season, Matt, and he made a couple of nice plays in that ball game. And I left that thinking, man, this guy could be a big-time factor in this offense.
Check down to P.J. Martin, stepped out of bounds on the cut, trying to get past Kyle Taylor. This is a good drive here starting to develop for South Alabama after the interception by Nehemiah Chandler.
Fast-moving ball game for as many penalties and kind of as sloppy as it has been. Going to be a really tight finish here in the 4th quarter.
On the play action, quick stick after a gain of 6 or 7 by Brandon Barnes. Michael Woods on the catch. That his first touchdown in a South Alabama uniform in the overtime loss to Troy a couple of weeks ago. Here's P.J. Martin. Boy, shedding tacklers. Martin with a seam. Martin in for a touchdown. "27 yards to the house." And a 2-score lead for the Jags.
Well, on the edge here, how about this? A great job by Martin. Joe Drew, who's in there for Greil, the freshman safety, he was just welcomed to the Sun Belt Conference by P.J. Martin in a big way.
PAT is good by Hamilton DeBoyan. This is exactly what Major Applewhite talked about. Complementary football. First the pick by Nehemiah Chandler, and his offense takes advantage.
Points off turnovers. You got to have it, and that's exactly what the Jaguars were able to do That's how you run the football. P.J. Martin running with some physicality, breaking tackles, and finally providing some juice to this building that has just been waiting for what feels like hours since we started this game. And now we've got the Jaguars sort of opening up this game with a 14-3 lead. You could see Coach Jones on his sideline just trying to calm everybody down and just say, hey, look, we've been here before. Plenty of time to go, but they've got to have something, Matt, on this drive. And who knows? I mean, last week, or the last game, I should say, that Arkansas State had, there was 10-10 going to the fourth. Then they scored 40 points combined, both teams in that fourth quarter. So maybe things start to open up a little bit. We shall see.
Here's Chauncey Cobb. Mixing it up in the return game, brings it out to about the 25. You alluded to this earlier on a couple of drives ago when South Alabama had the ball, that if Arkansas State went down 2 scores, it almost felt like insurmountable deficit. How do you see it down 11 with 1:28 to go to get this offense for Arkansas State going?
Well, I mean, it does feel insurmountable at this point because Arkansas State's sitting here going to the fourth quarter, or nearly going to the fourth quarter, with only 3 points on the board. And they just had that 14-play drive that came away with 0 points. So, I mean, clearly, this could be a 14-10 game easily. But they've got to have something on this drive, man. They got to use the momentum they had on the drive they had 2 drives ago, where they went all the way down the field. There were some big plays in that drive. They got the football on the outside to their tight end Fortenberry, and then I thought by getting Rucker involved in that drive, it was huge for this Arkansas State offense.
Rayner, hot throw. What
Great
a catch
catch
by Hunter Summers, the second-year transfer from Tulane, and he moves the chains.
That's a heck of a catch. Climbs the ladder, goes up and gets this in conflict on the outside with Henderson.
Defense wasn't totally set there. And Spencer taking advantage, ducking his way for a 12-yard gain.
Well, you can at least see the sense of urgency by the Red Wolves here, trying to get more snaps in. They understand time is of the essence with the fourth quarter looming.
20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Rayner surveying, checks it down to Spencer. That is near the first down marker, maybe half a yard short.
Let's see, will they get one more play off here before the end of the quarter? They're going to try.
Again, defense not set for South Alabama. Rayner was looking for Summers. Javon Henderson, the former FCS freshman All-American, with the stop.
The third quarter.
Butch Jones has had a frustrating night. A lot of penalties going the other way. His team trails 14-3 as we enter the fourth quarter in Mobile. start of the fourth quarter here in Mobile, Alabama. Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State captain, Dustin Fox, P.J. Martin with a touchdown run at the end of the third quarter to give South Alabama a 14-3 lead, and now 3rd and short on the ensuing drive for Arkansas State. Jalen Rayner plowing ahead has enough for the first down. Another good-looking drive developing for the Red Wolves. Remember, their last drive went 15 plays but resulted in no points due to a blocked field goal and a penalty. Rayner dumps it down. Watch out! Clay is hammered by Blaine Myrick.
Just such great pursuit defensively by Blaine Myrick, their stud linebacker who's wearing number 5 tonight, and just gets there in a hurry for a huge loss.
Wearing number 5 in honor of the late Anthony Mastella, who was tragically killed in a car accident in 2010. That uniform now represents leadership and selflessness in this program. All day to throw for Rayner. Tried to reset his feet and then was ushered out of bounds again by Blaine Myrick.
Yeah, really had all day to throw, Matt. I mean, he just great coverage. I mean, this ends up, I don't know if it's a loss or not on the play, but I mean, look at the coverage in the back end. Everything top down and nowhere to go. The only place to go maybe in the middle there, but too late. I mean, there's no way he can come across his body and make that throw. Great job by the Jaguars defense.
Well, this is a big 3rd and 15. You're just not sure how many more possessions you're going to get if you're Arkansas State.
You got to hope to get half of this and go for it.
Good protection. Rayner steps up, delivers a dart to Chauncey Cobb.
Well, they're going to go for this now because it's going to be 4th and about a yard. A really good job. I love the pocket presence, Matt. It's really been impressive. Jalen Rayner has this innate sense for where the pressure's coming from and just steps up and gives himself more time in the pocket, and right there allows this drive to possibly continue when it appeared like they were dead in the water.
4th and a yard.
The only down they've been good at tonight.
They have converted both tries on 4th down. Fortenberry in motion. Rayner's going to take it wide, has plenty to move the chains, and the drive continues for the Red Wolves.
Love that call. I love the call. They bring the motion, Fortenberry down, and everybody I think from South Alabama thought this was going to be a counter inside. He pulls the football out and kind of comes out the back end naked and picks up that first down.
Rayner to the air, has a man open, and late with the coverage of Jalen Benelli was Brian Dillard. Looked like for a flash Benelli was open in the back of the end zone, but Dillard closed well.
Yeah, he was open for a moment. It was hard to tell. Looked like a little contact. No call on the play. One of the few plays.
Had more penalties than first downs in the first half tonight. 2nd and 10. 12th play of the drive. It's a flip to Spencer with blockers. Tripped up by Nehemiah Chandler. What a game that young man has had at the cornerback position. Third and 7 looming.
Well, there's only 2 guys you want to get the football to on this play. It's right there and right there. That's Rucker and Fortenberry. I'd be looking right at the bottom there.
It is Rucker with the catch, short of the line to gain by about 4 yards. Does it do you any good to kick a field goal here?
Well, they're good. It does make it a 1-possession game technically, being down 11. They cut it to 8.
Remember, Clune Van Andel's last field goal attempt from 28 yards was blocked. He did hit already tonight from 25. This will be from 37. Gotta have it if you're the Red Wolves. His kick is away, and it is good. It is a one-score game in Mobile. Buckle up. It's the Fun Belt on a Tuesday night. Eventful third quarter in Mobile. 15-play drive for Arkansas State resulted in a blocked field goal. Then their ensuing drive, an interception by Nehemiah Chandler. P.J. Martin then took it to the house on a 26-yard carry. Points on turnovers for Major Applewhite's South Alabama Jags, who are trying to snap a 5-game skid. They now lead it by 8 after that last made field goal by Arkansas State. Matt Schumacher, Dustin Fox with you. It'll be South Alabama football after the kickoff by Clayton Amaya. And just like so many Sun Belt games typically are, these meetings between South Alabama and Arkansas State have often been close. 8 of their 13 prior meetings have been decided by 10 points or less. Last year was a 2-point game. And it's shaping up to finish that way with 10:43 to go, Foxy.
We've got a tight one here. There's no doubt about that. It is interesting. You think about the fact that Arkansas State, they've moved the ball, Matt. 2 of their last 3 possessions have been drives inside South Alabama territory. 29 plays on those 2 drives, just 3 points.
Swing pass, Anthony Eager stacked up. That was Brandon Greil, who twice tonight has exited the game with an injury.
I mean, he's a war daddy. Keeps fighting.
Returned.
Keeps fighting, getting himself back in the game.
Well, you told me going to the last break, that stat, 29 plays over 2 drives, just 3 points. That's a win for South Alabama, no?
Absolutely. There's no question. The fact that your defense has been on the field that long and you only give up 3 points. I mean, heck, if they'd have given up 6 points with those 2 drives, you'd take that as a win.
Davenport pulls it out, delivers a strike to Devin Voice, and good to see him back into the game. We're told he is dealing with an upper body injury. Was probable to return. That's his first catch since he exited the game.
Well, this is a huge third down because there's just under 10 minutes to go in the ball game, and yeah, you're down 1 possession technically, but that 2-point conversion is not guaranteed. So you may need multiple possessions, and assuming you got a score, and guess what? We got a flag.
I believe that was Rod Gibbs on the right side of the formation.
Offense, number 19. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Indeed it was. The South Alabama tight end, and it backs him up 5 yards.
Well, that certainly helps the Red Wolves here, making this third and about 12.
19 combined penalties in this game. Four-man rush. Davenport feels the heat. Down he goes, and he lost the football.
Luckily got it back.
Recovered. And it was Ethan Hassler, who last year was limited to just 3 games due to injury, who forced Davenport back.
Cody Sigler is just a difficult, large human being to block, and he gets in there and tries to get a pull up, and as he does, Davenport realizes he's got nowhere to go, and then Hassler gets in there to help finish him off, and he is lucky, Matt. He did lose the football. He's able to get it back, but again, they're backed up here. Arkansas State, I mean, their return man is inside South Alabama territory right now.
Polkinen's punt to about the 50. And up to the 35 goes Blancas, but there was the flag at the end.
During the return, holding, return team, number 84. 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
We'll step aside. Potential game-time drive looming for Arkansas State.
College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
12-team college football playoff and the national championship game all on our ESPN family of networks as we welcome you back to Mobile. Somehow, some way, a potential game-tying drive in front of us for Arkansas State after the punt by South Alabama. Red Wolves trail by 8 with 8:30 to play. Jalen Rayner with a seam. Cutting it upfield. Rayner inside the 10. Stiff arm and is finally brought down at the 5. Gain of 43, the biggest of the night for the Red Wolves.
Had to have it. Big moment. And Rayner has really been bottled up all night. Great job. Fortenberry, great block inside. And then it's all Rayner. Nearly houses this at the end. The only problem here, Matt, is they have been here before. They couldn't capitalize. Can they finally find the end zone?
Rayner throws it to Summers, and he's in for a touchdown. Right on cue. And they're a 2-point conversion away from a tie game in Mobile, Alabama.
Well, that was quick. Holy cow. Where was this offense all night? I love how they got to the line quickly, though, Matt, and just really hurried up, got the ball out to Summers. South Alabama just didn't appear to be set and ready to go. They took advantage, and now very, very large 2-point attempt.
Their first 2-point attempt of the season. Rayner, end zone, floating it for Summers. He was pushed. Did not catch the football. Blanketed by Blaine Myrick, and it's an incomplete pass. Boy, Blaine Myrick has made some big plays on the last 2 drives for South Alabama. None bigger than this.
No doubt. Summers thought he had it, but Myrick ends up pushing him out of bounds. And no go. Welcome back to South Alabama, 14-12. Let's go back and take a look at that two-point attempt because I did think that there was some contact here. Let's go inside and take a look. This is going to be Summers, your wide receiver. He's going to run a double move against Myrick. And right here about the goal line is going to be a double move. You'll see Myrick right there. And there's a lot of contact. He pushes him and then grabs the jersey and then sort of pushes him out of the back of the end zone. As tight as this game has been called, I'm very surprised that there was no flag.
20 penalties have been called tonight, but not on that defensive play by Blaine Myrick, which right now is the difference in this two-point game. 7:51 to play, and it's 14-12 South Alabama. We will not have a return from Micah Woods. We do, however, have another Monday Night Football doubleheader. Bucks Lions at a special start time of 7 Eastern. Then Texans Seahawks on ESPN, both available on ESPN Deportes. And of course, the all-new ESPN app coverage kicks off at 3 Eastern with NFL Live at Ford Field, followed by Scott Van Pelt and the Monday Night Countdown crew. Gotta love a doubleheader on a Monday night in the NFL.
Gotta love the fact you get 10 p.m. football on a Monday. Come on.
Nice first cut there by Kentrell Bullock. Gets upfield for a gain of 5 yards. South Alabama rushing attack nearing 100 yards tonight. And it has been a mix of Martin, Bullock, and Phillips. Bishop Davenport, the first-year starting quarterback, has been effective 18 of 23. Gives it to P.J. Martin, bouncing it outside. Martin with a crease and ran out of bounds by A.G. McGee after a first down carry.
It's a really good job by Martin sensing that Arkansas State had overplayed it, and he felt the ability to just kind of bounce it to the outside. Nobody's there. Picks up the first down easily.
Davenport play action is batted down by A.G. McGee, and then a late flag, maybe DeMarcus Hendricks.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, landing the quarterback with body weight. Defense number 10. Penalty, automatic, first down.
Boy, if this is not the story of the night for Butch Jones's Red Wolves.
That's roughing the passer? Boy, that sure seems like a football play to me. I mean, he's got the ball. I mean, do you think it was when he went to the ground? Because to me, I don't know. Looked like a pretty clean football play to me.
We've seen Butch Jones more animated tonight after calls have gone against his team. Here's Kentrell Bullock wiggling free for a gain of 7. Boy, that's a tough call. After a batted down ball, was going to put your defense in a really good position. Instead, first down, and now the ball in plus territory for South Al.
That's a big call. 15-yarder puts it, like you said, Matt, inside Red Wolves territory here. And with 6:20 to go, clock is not the friend of the Red Wolves.
Bullock sheds one tackler, patiently waiting behind a couple of blockers. Moves the chains again for a gain of 15 plus. Of course, this is all coming on the heels of the no pass interference call in the end zone on that 2-point conversion by Arkansas State.
And Bullock is just starting to really wake up here in the second half. Averaged 3.3 yards per carry in that first half, well under his season average. Just the last couple of runs alone, starting to get going.
Back to him. He is stuck by Aaron Alexander, who has really stepped in at the linebacker position for Arkansas State. They're down Terry Kirksey, and they recently dismissed Javante Mackey from the team. So this is a depleted linebacking core for the Red Wolves.
Well, you can see Aaron Alexander had an opportunity there on that play to step up and close the gap in a hurry. He did. And he's really making the most out of this season, Matt. He's now officially the guy in that linebacker room.
5 minutes to play. Davenport keeps. He's wrapped up in the backfield by Hassler, who, remember, knocked the ball loose, forcing a punt on the last drive for South Alabama.
Oh, this is a really nice stop defensively by the Red Wolves. And now a 3rd and long here for South Alabama.
And you're really on the edge of field goal range right now for Hamilton DuBois, the place kicker for South Alabama, whose longest this year is 47. 3rd and 6. Start and stop. Bullock running away from tacklers. Bullock does his best to get it close to field goal range, still short of the line to gain. And now decision time for Major Applewhite.
To me, there's no decision. I think you have to kick this, no? It's a 2-point game.
He's going to keep his offense on the field. Clock was stopped because Brandon Barnes' helmet came off for Arkansas State. They're starting safety, so James Reed will have to come in for this all-important 4th and 3.
Free play.
It's to the end zone. Boy, there was some hand fighting on the back end of that play. Major Applewhite wanted another flag, though it likely won't matter.
Well, I think you got a flag on Major Applewhite now here after the play, because he was in the face of the official on the field inside the 20-yard line. This is wild.
Do you have any yellow handkerchiefs you'd like to add to the field of play tonight?
I ran all out. They're gone. I got a yellow highlighter.
Here's Tim Barker.
Offside. Defense, number 95. In the neutral zone at the snap. The 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, head coach, South Alabama. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced after the 5-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10.
Did you get all that?
This is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
A lot happening here, Dustin Fox.
Well, the offside's right there. Cody Sigler. That's easy. That's the right call. That's pass interference. So I understand the frustration. Kyle Williams should have been flagged there, but then Major runs onto the field. And I don't really think that it was him running on the field. I think it was what he said. He must have said something that really hit a nerve or was across the line.
Keenan Phillips running wild inside the 15 and carrying tacklers to the 10. Now the ball looked like it may have gotten jarred loose. Cody Sigler was signaling as if he had jarred it loose. But as it stands, a gain of 24. Wow, what a run by Keenan Phillips.
This is just big time determination by Phillips, who drags how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, the whole team to bring him down. Goodness gracious, what an effort.
By a 5'10", 185-pound back. Back to him. Flag
and guess what?
Behind the play.
Pretty easy to call that one. And it's going to be a hold on South Alabama.
Offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Only the 24th penalty of the night. And it's the 3rd on the left guard, Amari Wiggins.
You know how, like, when you're growing up and you watch football and they say, man, you could call holding on every play. Apparently you can.
115 yards worth of penalties tonight for the Jags. 1st and 20. Meanwhile, the clock continuing to tick. Here's Phillips, dragged down. That's DeMarcus Hendricks. He's been a nice addition to this Arkansas State defense after spending 5 years of his career at Division II Texas A&M Kingsville.
I would think you'd start to maybe consider some timeouts here at some point. I mean, it's 2nd and goal. They're at the 20-yard line. If you stop them here, I mean, you probably want to conserve as much time as possible, right? Because you're going to most likely have to score a touchdown to win the game.
10th play of the drive. It's Bullock. Cannot slip past Hendricks again.
I would hit a timeout.
Call a timeout. Doesn't look like he's going to, which would allow this to run all the way down to the 2-minute timeout. Interesting. Butch Jones electing to keep all 3 of his timeouts. And again, South Alabama does not need to run a play here.
Arkansas State's just trying to jump off sides.
This is
big
2-minute
3rd and goal looming
time
when we
out.
return. South Alabama with a 2-point lead in Mobile. Third and goal from the 20 for South Alabama. Punts and penalties have ruled the day. Matt Schumacher, Dustin Fox with you.
Matt,
Tuesday night in the Sun Belt, and it's coming down to the wire as we anticipate.
Sorry, partner, to step on you there, but if I'm South Alabama here, you know, traditional wisdom would say run the ball, make him call timeout, kick the field goal. I would take a shot to the end zone. And frankly, that just comes from knowing that the officials have called the game so tight, maybe you get a flag and an automatic first down.
25 penalties. They do run it up the middle. It's Bullock. Boy, is he explosive. Was hit hard by Kyle Taylor, who's had another excellent night.
Timeout, Arkansas State.
And they do force a timeout, and the field goal unit will likely come on here for South Alabama. Meanwhile, Saturday in the SEC doesn't get much bigger than this at this point in the season. Starts with LSU and Vanderbilt in a top 20 showdown. Then Ole Miss, Georgia, 3:30 Eastern on ABC, followed by Tennessee and Alabama. Vols have not won in Tuscaloosa since 2003. Can they snap the streak against the red-hot Tide? All that coming up this weekend on ABC and, of course, the all-new ESPN app. So, South Alabama will try to make this a 5-point game with a 29-yard field goal attempt from Hamilton DeBoyan. Kick is away, and it is no good! Wide right, and Arkansas State comes up with a stop.
Wow. Snap was a little low, but I think it was a good hold. I mean, he gets the ball down, he gets spun back around, laces out. Ray Finkel approves.
Just the second miss of the year for DeBoyan. Both of them have come between the 30 to 39-yard range, and now Arkansas State, who orchestrated a late fourth quarter game-winning drive 2 weeks ago against Texas State, has the ball, all 3 timeouts with 1:50 to play.
What more could you ask for if you're Butch Jones? You're on the road, you're down 2 with 2 minutes to go, you've got a couple of timeouts in your pocket, and all you need is a field goal. And by the way, you have the best kicker in the Sun Belt.
Rayner underneath. Corey Rucker makes one-man miss. 9-yard pickup on first down, tackled by Darius McKenzie.
Well, Rucker's down, Matt. There was a big hit at the end of that play. Both players are down.
Officials timeout for an injured player of each team. There's no option for a 10-second runoff.
There have been some monster hits in this game on both sides.
It really has. It's been one of the more physical games between both teams. I mean, there's some hitting going on down there.
We are still confirming the defensive player for South Alabama who's down, but it is Corey Rucker. The lead wide receiver pops up, and it was Christopher Wallace Jr., the leading tackler for South Alabama. He pops up as well. Good to see both guys exit the field under their own power.
Actually, it was Mike Harris. Was it Mike Harris that went down?
You're right. It was Mike Harris.
It's hard to tell. The 0 and the 8 both look very similar. So Harris was the one who was down, and Rucker was helped off. Both appear to be okay. We'll see if they come back in the ball game. Man, for as choppy, clunky of a game as it's been.
For potential for no targeting is under video review.
Wait, what happened there?
Well, there's no call on the field for targeting, but that got buzzed down.
Okay.
So we're going to go review that. Prior to this 2nd and 1. Well, Corey Rucker's not a defenseless player.
No, he's a ball carrier, but the crown of the helmet right there was down, and you can't use the crown of the helmet as a weapon. Clearly, that's what they're taking a look at.
Well, it's the Baylor transfer, Mike Harris, who is shaken up. It's also Mike Harris, who is going to be potentially flagged for targeting here. And if you are leading with the crown of the helmet, that is a foul regardless of the opponent's status or where contact
Matt,
occurs on the body of the player that was hit.
They had about 3 minutes or more to look at this play. So to me, I mean, I'm just kind of reading the tea leaves.
After video review, there is no targeting on the play. Will the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 43 seconds and the play clock to 40 seconds? Both will start on the ready for play signal.
Just a lot going on here that disrupted the flow of the game. You have the offense, you pick up 9 yards, you got 2 guys down injured, and then after the play, you're going to review something that you had all that time to look at, and then all of a sudden now we're back to play. So here we go.
Second and 1. First down catch, Tyler Fortenberry, who came into the game with 8 catches on the year. He's got 3 in the second half, and that moves the chains.
Well, and again, this is where Rayner is at his best, that 2-minute offense.
Decides to take off, has space, makes one man miss. It's Myrick. Rayner out across the 50, and a gain of 15.
Boy, the move,
first down.
Matt, the move that Jalen Rayner put on Blaine Myrick in the middle of the field was outstanding.
Had that big run leading to their last touchdown. Rayner underneath. Fortenberry again, right at the sticks. Will they move him? No, they're about a half-yard short. Clock continues to run.
The down doesn't matter. It actually helps them out. They kind of gain an extra down. You'd assume they're going to get this one.
First down grab by Jalen Benelli. This is looking eerily similar to their game-winning drive against Texas State 2 weeks ago.
First charge, timeout, South Alabama.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
There's no doubt. Now all of a sudden South Alabama has to consider trying to save some time. Let's go back to last week, Matt. And this was just a wild finish.
And Texas State goes 2 plays for 66 yards and a touchdown. At this point in the game, you're thinking, how on earth can Arkansas State come back? But wait, missed PAT. Door is open. Jalen Rayner goes 6 plays, 75 yards, leaves a touchdown, and a game-winning PAT to win it 31-30, snapping a 4-game skid and handing Texas State its second loss in Sun Belt Conference play. Much shorter field here for Butch Jones and the Red Wolves than they had to work with 2 weeks ago with 60 seconds on the clock. They also have 2 timeouts. And all they need tonight is a field goal.
Right, but here's the thing. This is college football. How many games have you watched where it comes down to a kick and it's just, you hate to have to put it on the young man's shoulders. You'd love to go down and get a touchdown.
Delayed blitz. Rayner goes away from it, and it's Nehemiah Chandler with the breakup. Had that interception earlier in the second half that resulted in a touchdown on the ensuing drive for South Alabama. What a night by their starting corner.
If you're going to throw the ball, you at least got to do something where you can catch it in bounds, keep the clock moving, and force South Alabama to call another timeout too.
Rayner steps up. Lots of room to run and slides past the marker. No, they're going to give him a short spot.
Yeah. Started the slide early.
And it's 3rd and short. Tick, 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 tick. Clock under 40 seconds. Spencer straight ahead. We'll stop the clock momentarily. And I believe we're going to have a timeout from Major Applewhite in South Alabama.
Timeout. South Alabama. Second charge. 30 seconds.
Well, earlier in the 3rd quarter, Arkansas State had a 15-play drive that resulted in 0 points. 28-yard field goal by Clune. Van Andel blocked at the line of scrimmage. And at the moment, that just seemed like a totally defeating and deflating play for Butch Jones, but they have clawed back from the mat, Dustin Fox, to put themselves in a position to win this football game.
Can't really believe it, frankly. I mean, they had 2 great drives. combined for 29 plays, and they just end up with 3 points out of those 2 drives alone. And it was a 14-3 game moments ago. You know, going to the fourth quarter, it's 14-3. You're thinking, man, South Alabama. In fact, I think we said it. This lead feels like it's insurmountable. Not the case.
1st and 10. Rayner keeps. He's stuffed. Does Butch Jones think about a timeout here?
I certainly would want to get 5 or 10 more yards and then at least try to put it in a spot on the field where your kicker, what's going on?
Boy, they were awfully cavalier with the clock here. Butch Jones just letting it trickle all the way down.
He's going to kick it. This is it.
We're going to go win this right now with Clune Van Andel.
Second charge timeout, Arkansas State, 30 seconds.
I mean, what's the harm in calling timeout with 10 seconds? You got 2 timeouts, so you'd have 1. If you're going to kick it on 2nd down, you'd want to kick it with some time left. You're down 2 points, right? It's like it's a tie ball game. If it's a bad snap or something happened on the attempt, well, okay, you could just basically take a knee, call the last timeout. You'd still have some time left. I'm just a little baffled that they didn't call the timeout with 10 seconds or 12 seconds, something like that, to leave a little bit of time just in case there's a little error on the operation.
This will be the 4th field goal attempt of the night for Clune Van Andel to win the game from 38 yards.
Third and final, charge timeout, South Alabama.
Your point makes total sense, particularly on 2nd down, and they let countless seconds.
It was 20-some seconds on the clock, and you even said it was South Alabama going to call time. They did not. Well, then at that point in time, once you kind of pass that threshold, it's on Butch Jones. I just feel like you make the call, timeout, you got 2 left. And remember, he saved all those timeouts from the previous drive when they could have called timeout before the 2-minute warning, so you had the extra timeout. Nonetheless, here we go. This is the game.
Ultimate confidence in the preseason Sun Belt Special Teams Player of the Year, Clune Van Andel. 38 yards to win it on a wild Tuesday night in Mobile. Snap down, kick is away. It is good! Good! Red Wolves walk it off in Mobile.
This is the end of the game.
Another 4th quarter comeback drive orchestrated by Jalen Rayner, and this team has just moved to 2-1 in the Sun Belt.
Back-to-back wins by 1 point.
Thin margins in this league that some call the mini SEC. Or the Red Wolves, whose offense was anemic in the first half. Remember, they scored just 3 points. Well, they finished by scoring the last 12 points of the game, Dustin Fox, including this from 38 to win it.
Heck of a hold, too, because that snap was low. Jackson Waller deserves a ton of credit. He's the MVP of that operation right there. Low snap, gets it down, and allows Van Andel to knock it through. Bangs it right down the middle.
They never led until that made field goal by Clune Van Andel, earning the preseason Special Teams Player of the Year moniker tonight.
Just an incredible performance by Jalen Rayner, who was really kind of having a bit of an off night. Struggled to get some things going on the ground, and when it mattered most in those 2 key moments, I mean, he made those plays with his legs.
2 scoring drives on their final 2 possessions. Jalen Raynor, the 3-year starter at Arkansas State, orchestrating quite a turnaround after this team lost 4 in a row. They've now won back-to-back by a single point. They call it Fun Belt on a Tuesday night for a reason. Dustin Fox, Matt Schumacher. Good night from Mobile.